You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history. Anytime you have the loss of life that needlessly happens, that's tragedy. And what occurred yesterday did not have to happen.
Shalom. Welcome back. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, praises, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to you, Akim, pushing his word in sincerity and in truth back with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be dealing with a movie that came on TV the other night. I didn't catch the whole movie, but I've seen this movie before. The name of the movie is called Bushwick. And this is a scene from that movie that you see on the screen. And I'm bringing this out because of all what's going on in the world right now, especially here in Mystery Babylon, with that shooting that just happened in Minnesota from that YT lady. All right. You know, these people ain't playing, man. All right. These people are not playing, and they will fire on U.S. citizens without a shadow of a doubt, without any care in the world. Right. And as I speak, I believe something just happened in Portland where 2 people got shot. But anyway, dealing with this movie, this scene is when the head character there and was with this lady to this lady with him with the hat. She went to go look for her sister. He went with her. He went to her sister's apartment, and this guy that's sitting down underneath the cabinet, he was like a mercenary. But you didn't know that at the beginning of the movie. They all had on black. They had on masks. And the main character here, I think his name is Bautista. Dave Bautista, I believe. But anyway, he takes the guy down. He takes his gun from him. He pulls off his masks. And he's expecting to see a foreign agent, someone from another country. But he asked the guy, where is he from? He says he's from Kentucky. Because this is happening in this whole movie is centered around Bushwick, New York, getting invaded by an outside army. But come to find out, when he talks to the guy, he pulls his mask off. Certain states succeeded. He basically succeeded from the Union. All right. I believe he was talking about Texas, Florida, a bunch of different other states. Basically said, we're out. So that's one of the premises. If you haven't seen the movie, check the movie out. But and what's going on is the beginning of a civil war, all right, in this movie. That's what it's centered around. That's what it's dealing with. And it's a crazy movie because it doesn't end like you think it's going to end. It's real, man. Meaning you don't know what's around every corner, what's around every block. Could really be the end of your life, man. All right, and they really put that in this movie. But from there, and talking about what's going on in Minnesota, this lady on the screen, Chrissy Nome, I'm going to play a little bit of this video, grab some scriptures, And that's going to be it, because certain precedents are being set where these ICE officers, they don't care, man. And they're already labeling this lady as a domestic terrorist. And this is a white lady, man. So, you know, they mean business, man. And they're getting ready, because there was something we brought out, I brought out, and other brothers brought out earlier this year, how was a certain bill signed by the president that there's going to be basically, for lack of a better word, Minutemen ready to go, you know, amongst these different troops and organizations to be deployed into cities to quell what? Violence, to quell protesting. And they, you know, they got shoot to kill orders, man. They don't care, man. All right, because I saw the video, but let's play the video. I'll get back to
it. That were inciting. He did follow his training because of an individual that was. This is an experienced officer who followed his training, and we will continue to let the investigation unfold into the individual and recognize that these law enforcement officers every single day put their lives on the line. They go out and do their jobs. They go out and... This was an act of domestic terrorism, which is perpetuating...
Yeah, because you got a lot of people divided over what happened. And I was going to say, when you see the video, because they got the whole unedited video on Twitter or whatever. You know, one of the ICE agents come to the window. Another ICE agent is standing in front of the vehicle. And she attempts to pull away from him to drive away. And dude, you know, he pulls his pistol, opens up, fire shots. The car crashes into a pole. And then there's people, citizens, recording all this. That's how they got the footage on Twitter. And they uploaded it. So the lady that's recording it goes over there, and you see the lady slumped over the steering wheel. You know, you see blood everywhere. They show everything on Twitter, man. So, and these ICE agent, and he didn't bat an eye. The guy that did it, he just walked away like it wasn't nothing. So there's a real change in the air in this country, man. And people are seeing it. People are upset. You know, that like I said, man, they don't care, man. All right. Let's finish this out.
These policies and procedures that follow a use of force situation like this are continuing to be put in place. So this is standard operating procedure after every use of force situation, is that we follow these procedures and protocols. This situation is no different.
So let's go. Get some scriptures. This is 2 Ezra 15-14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right. So in that movie Bushwick, you just saw what? U.S. citizens, the whole movie basically firing on each other, man. One was getting invaded. The other ones were trying to defend themselves. They didn't care, man. The guy said, "I'm from Kentucky." He was expecting somebody from China, from fucking Russia or Ukraine or whatever. But the guy had a hillbilly accent talking about he was from Kentucky, man. And all he said, "I was just following orders. We succeeded. We starting something new." So that's the division that's going on in this country right now. All right. And if you watch that movie, you can see some of the real effects that could possibly play out from what's going on right now. Let's go back. It says, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So it got to a point where the states that succeeded came under a new allegiance to someone else, and they decided to do their own thing, man. All right? So... And you got the real possibility of this thing really happening, man. And the scriptures bear it out. So let's play a little bit of this.
Is there? You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
You really see, like I said, you see the clip. They're basically telling their story to justify what the guy did. But easily, the lady was trying to drive away as soon as they approached. And he let loose right into that windshield, man. Hey, right into that, that lady's dome, man. Let's see what else they said over here. Here's another one.
We've got thousands of officers when it comes to enforcing federal law. We've got thousands of officers there, and I'm not opposed to sending more if necessary to keep people safe.
So she said she's going to send more. I think that was all on bookmark. So this is a lady that was they got hit. They said blonde hair, blue eyed lady, white Christian, unarmed mother of 3. Renee Nicole Good, was hit by ICE agents in Minneapolis because hate and inhumanity begets hate and inhumanity. Chrissy Nome and the rest of this administration needs to resign. So, like I said, you got a lot of people pissed off over this. Let's keep going. Let's get Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." Right? So you're going to have a lot of, and I started right here, but when you read up and you go through the famous Matthew 24, the beginning of sorrows, a lot of judgment is about to take place on this earth, man. All right? And it behooves you believers out there, man, to stay ready, stay in the spiritual mindset, and understand what the Lord is doing on this earth, man. All right? And he's going to allow a lot of judgment to take place. A lot of death is going to happen. And you have to be mentally prepared. That's why the scriptures tell us that wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability in these times, right? Let's see what else I got. Let's go to Amos 5 and let's start 18. It says, "Woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him." And when you go check this movie out, every corner these people are trying to get to a certain spot because you have the states that succeeded from the Union are invading these other states. And then you still have the U.S. military trying to pull the citizens, because this happened in New York, get to the citizens before they get executed by the states that succeeded. It's crazy, right? And so you have them trying to make it to basically a drop point, the whole movie. But while they're trying to make it, I envision what the scripture playing out is: if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or he went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Meaning wherever you go, you have people out of their minds, bugged out, willing to do whatever, right? Basically, shoot first, ask questions later, right? It says, "Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?" So just reiterating the point, man, we're living in some crazy times, man. More and more violence, and great violence. Thus, Mr. Babylon is going to go down. And this is just the beginning, man, right? They got that precious white woman, as the brother in our camp would say. But with that, I want to give all glory, praises, and honors to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai. Shalom the next time.